believe me, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these. It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Two kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas to you.
Kenny and Topeka are playing on the dock.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm your host, Movie Miss, and I'm being joined by my co-host, Drive-In Dave. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm feeling silly, so this is going to be interesting today.
Well, we picked a good one to be silly with. This is going to be our first exclusive Patreon-only episode. This commentary on what movie are we doing today, Dave?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, let me direct you to the center stage where we are about to present to you the 1987 crappy Christmas classic, the sequel with no equal, the movie not to be confused with Hoagie's Heroes. We give you Jaws the Revenge.
The show we never knew we needed. That is amazing. What a fantastic intro. And you pointed something out. I always argue this with people, is that Jaws the Revenge is indeed a Christmas movie. Because if Die Hard's a Christmas movie, so is Jaws the Revenge, y'all.
I have a theory on Christmas movies. I love how you went to Die Hard because there's so big an argument over Die Hard being a Christmas movie. If the movie takes place on Christmas, it is a Christmas movie. Two, if you can consider It's a Wonderful Life a Christmas movie, which like 30 minutes, if that, of the movie actually happens on Christmas, then anything that has Christmas in it is considered a Christmas movie.
Now, that is how I consider this, because we get a full Christmas opening. We get the Christmas that they celebrate when they're in the Bahamas, full sections of Christmas. So yes, this totally is a Christmas movie.
It is. You cannot deny it. If you deny it, then you are wrong and you should be ashamed of yourself.
So real quick, before we hit play on this commentary episode that y'all can hit play and follow along with us, we have paused it right when, at the beginning, the words pop up, a Joseph Sargent film. So if you want to pause it there and get ready, you can watch it along with us. But before we start, I just want to mention, like you said, 1987, several differences between this and the novelization. The novelization, which I've read, has a voodoo subplot, which is why the shark comes after the Brodies in the Bahamas, because Mike is doing his stuff with snails and biology and I don't know what, and he pisses off a witch doctor in the islands. They're a voodoo priest of some kind, and I want to say it's like Papa Jacques is his name. And he puts this, voodoo thing on a shark for it to come kill people because he can't take it. He can't take the Brodies. That's the revenge sort of aspect, is the shark because of the voodoo guy getting revenge on the Brodies. None of that makes it into the film because that was an early idea of the script, not even a draft of the script, just an idea. And I'm kind of glad it didn't make it into the movie, to be honest.
It would make an interesting movie, like a bad sci-fi, TV movie or something. I wouldn't mind seeing that. But no, I like the fact that what makes this movie so great is how stupid it is. And the fact that this shark is like related to the other sharks, apparently, or best friends. I have no idea. Like, I don't know, maybe they had poker nights or something. And he's like missing his buddies now. It's like purposely seeking out the family is batshit crazy and makes it so much fun to watch.
All right, let's jump in and hit play, and then we can just jabber on about everything as we go. So everybody, like I said, we've got it paused at a Joseph Sargent film. So if everyone wants to hit play in 3, 2, 1, go.
And remember, Joseph Sargent should not be confused with his brother, Joey Corporal.
Joey Corporal. So yeah, Joseph Sargent directed. He was a TV director. Ooh, Jaws the Revenge. He was a TV director, and he also did, though, the movie The Taking of Pelham 123. The first
original?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now that's an insanely amazing movie. I love that movie to death.
Yeah. So what else? Oh, this was written by Michael de Guzman, who I'm not sure what else really he did. Maybe some TV stuff, I think. The book was Hank Cyril's, published in July of 87. This movie they released in January, on January 1st, if you can believe that.
Well, that's usually when they dump a lot of crap, is in January and February. So that is a industry standard.
But being that it's a Christmas movie, they could have done it a week earlier.
I mean, I think it should have been released like on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is the gift that keeps on giving.
So I want to mention this opening scene. We're obviously shark vision, right? Shark POV swimming through the waters of Amity in nighttime. The original trailer for this, which I watched online, has the shark vision swimming in Amity in the daylight. And I was like, what a chip. It was in the trailer.
I would have liked to have seen it in daylight.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's kind of dark. That is one of the problems I have with this opening, is that it's a little bit dark, and I'm sometimes I have trouble seeing it.
Oh, it's super dark. I will say though, I like this music, the score, the movie score, everything that Michael Small did for this movie. He was known for a lot of stuff: Stepford Wives, China Syndrome, Postman Always Rings Twice. Like, he did respectable scores, and then you get Jaws: The Revenge.
Just because the movie is bad does not mean that the music is bad.
Yeah, the music is very good. This opening scene is so weird how they zoom in on the fisheye.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to be clever. Oh, here's the shark. No, the shark is not getting baked right now.
So what do you think of, we've got Sean here, that's Mitchell Anderson, and Lorraine Gary, of course. But what'd you think of Sean, adult Sean here?
I like adult Sean. I actually like the adult versions of the kids in this one more than in 3. I've only seen 3 like maybe twice in my entire life. I'm not that much of a sadist to want to go back and watch it multiple times.
Oh, so they're getting a phone call from little Thea.
Oh, this little girl's adorable.
So the premise is, for people who don't know, and why wouldn't you know, is that Lorraine Gary lives still in Amity, has a real estate business with Mrs. Taft, and Sean is deputy of police, I think, and lives with her. And then Michael is married to Carla and has a little girl, and they live in the Bahamas. So that's they're calling her now. Okay, so here where is she's leaving the realty office with Mrs. Taft. Oh, Mrs. Taft is just saying goodbye to her. Sorry. But I like that she goes, why do you get to leave? And Ellen goes, because my desk is closer to the door. So Amity's totally decorated for Christmas here.
I love that. I mean, that is the one thing I enjoy about watching like Hallmark Christmas movies, is that like you see those little towns that are all decked out in Christmas.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to live in one of those little places.
So here's the office. Sean's checking in. We've got Polly, who looks impossibly the same age as she did in part 1.
Yes.
Different actress. But she cracks me up. This lady, I can't convince them we don't have a SWAT team. And then she's like, cow tipping and all this. And Chief Brody is pictures on the wall there. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I love her. I thought they developed her character so well in this movie.
Yeah.
Chief Brody's always looking so intense.
Right? It was just Roy Scheider's face. Cow tipping. We did that when I was a teenager. I have to admit, we did some cow tipping.
We did not do any cow tipping. We did not have enough cows here to tip. We could have tipped over the hobos, but it just wasn't as much fun.
So I got to ask, how is it that Sean is following in his father's footsteps and he lives in Amity, and yet he hasn't gone beyond Deputy. Why isn't he chief of police, whatever, like his dad was? It's
I,
so
I assume,
disappointing.
yeah, I assume that we were at the early point of his career. Maybe he's fresh out of Police Academy 3 or something like that, and it's just he's at this point where he hasn't become competent enough to become chief of police. Especially because what we are about to see, chief of police would not be stupid enough to go out and do this.
That's true. So I think his death probably comes as a relief to him and his family.
Exactly.
This disappointment, get him out of here. Relief to everybody.
He goes up to heaven and meets his father. His father's like, "You are not my son."
How are you just a deputy? Oh, so I also wanted to throw out there that this movie's budget was 23 million and did a box office of 51.9. So it wasn't a huge bomb, just a mild bomb. But that's why we didn't get more.
Yeah, I think by this point, people were kind of jawsed out. We were tired of Jaws movies, crappy Jaws movies.
Mm-hmm. So this was filmed in Martha's Vineyard here. This is Amity, as you remember it, only all Christmased out in nighttime, of course. This is so creepy when he's out on the water here.
It is. But it also kind of makes me wonder, did the shark put the log there? Is this like all like an elaborate trap that the shark set up?
Well, we get a lot of questions set up here and not a lot of answers because I was doing the research, for the show and found that this script was cobbled together quickly within 5 weeks, right before shooting began. And it was so unfinished that even Mario Van Peebles, Jake, he ended up ad-libbing the majority of his lines because they weren't written, because the script was so barely put together for shooting.
Wow. I did not know it was pronounced Peebles. I always thought it was Pebbles.
2 E's.
Huh.
It could be Pebbles, well, but I just say it Peeb because, Peeb, 2 E's.
I mean, it'd be great if it was Pebbles because it's like, that's
POV shark.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Here it comes. It's such a great shot right there, but the problem for me is that they use the same shot over and over when the shark is out of the water biting him and there's blood. What the fuck?
I was going to say, the only thing that ruins it for me is the fact that you can tell his arm is just like hunched up in the jacket.
Yeah. He's selling it though.
No, he's great actor, doing a good job.
I
believe he's hurt.
They cut back and forth to the carolers on the docks for Christmas. They're practicing for the show, so nobody can hear him screaming. It's so fucking scary.
Anyone could hear him screaming anyway.
And then same shot of the shark here, which is annoying. But, they did what they did.
Well, I mean, the little research that I did on it, I heard that apparently the shark was very hard to deal with, that he was kind of a diva on set. And so that they had to reuse quite a few shots.
This always gets me. This is the worst part. When he's hanging on the log screaming and then he gets pulled under. Oh, it's fucking brutal, man. That's like worst nightmare.
That's like I always say. To me, my worst fear is drowning or suffocation. I don't want to I don't want to be able to think about anything while I'm going.
Yeah. Doesn't the log wash up on the shore? Couldn't they see that it was like chewed up? That's always annoying too. Lorraine Gary sells this too. I mean, aside from the bad hair, she's otherwise great in this movie. She sells it.
The acting is not bad in this movie. It's just the story itself is what really makes it. Well, that and the special effects.
And they shot it in whatever, I forget the aspect ratio, to where when it played, it doesn't work well because you can see the animatronics under the shark and the dolly that it's on and shit in some of the scenes and how it's moving through the water. Okay, so we're at the sad part now. Sean's died. Time has passed, and then they're at the house, and Michael and his wife Carla and little Thea show up, and you can see here consoling Mrs. Brody are some of the locals and this makes it a legacy sequel because these are legacy characters from Jaws 1.
That's true. Is it just me, or does Michael look a little bit like Hooper?
Yes,
Makes you wonder.
That's intentional, actually. Okay,
That
so
is
here's
intentional.
I'll tell you about it in a sec. Yeah, so here's Polly, and then here's Mrs. Kintner and Mrs. Taft. And Mrs. Kintner is, little Alex Kintner gets killed on the raft in Jaws.
Oh,
By the window
okay,
with the glasses.
yeah.
That's Mrs. Kintner.
I never recognized her.
And then Taft in the white sweater. And I don't know who the other woman is, but the fact that these two are here. You're so
I always recognize Taft, but yeah, Kintner I never recognized.
That's her. How about a funny bone sandwich? It's so cute. So little Judith Barcy is so fucking adorable. She's supposed to be about 5 in this, but the actress actually had a growth deformity. She was 9 years old.
I did not know that.
And then when she was brutally murdered by her father, which a lot of people still, I'm shocked, don't know, like a year later, she was like 10 when she died. She was the voice of Littlefoot, I want to say, in The Land Before Time.
Oh.
Yeah, sweet, sweet little actress. So Michael, with his mom here, talking about how the shark came for Sean intentionally. Of course he did. But he looks a lot like Hooper because apparently they asked Richard Dreyfuss to do a cameo to be Matt Hooper, calling here to give his condolences to Ellen, reminisce about the chief, so sorry about Sean, yada yada yada, just like a little cameo. And Richard Dreyfuss said no thank you.
I mean, I can't blame him, but at the same time, I don't know exactly what he was doing at this point in his career.
I'm not sure either.
Yeah, because I mean, I think this is before he started doing those like overly dramatic movies in the like mid 90s.
Yeah. So Michael just made a reference to the voodoo. He's like, sharks don't commit murder. They don't do that voodoo or whatever. That's the only reference to the book we get. She's telling him, don't be in the water. Nobody in my family needs to be in the water. So the thing with him also is they asked Dennis Quaid to come back and reprise his role as Michael, and Catherine would have been back as well instead of Michael and Carla. But Dennis Quaid also declined. He was like, nah, I'm good. I don't know if he was still doing cocaine at this point or not.
I would expect him to be.
But I think it's funny that in part 3, Dennis Quaid is the engineer and he does some, the welding and the building. And Catherine is the marine biologist. And then in this one, she's the welder and he's the marine biologist.
It was almost like oh, okay, you're not going to come back, Dennis Quaid? All right, fuck you. We're gonna mess around with your character.
Exactly. But I will say I love Lance Guest in this. Love him.
One of the reasons I love this one so much is because I love the actors they got for the characters in this one. I thought they did a really good job.
So then they're doing what all legacy sequels do. They're at the funeral for Sean, and we're going to get Ellen smiling and kind of remembering. And here we get a shot from Jaws, Roy Scheider and Lil Sean, where he's mimicking him at the table. It's so fucking cute. And that's what you should do, I think. I think this is appropriate. She should be remembering some good times and smiling, Oh, poor Tiffany, Sean's fiance. Forgot about her.
Yeah, we barely get to see her.
So a weird fact about this, the grave scene, they're only in the graveyard for a few minutes, and all we saw was Sean's coffin, right? Yeah. Apparently, they hired a local gravestone maker to make 51 slabs for a full mock graveyard for the funeral scene. Did you see one slab, one gravestone?
I saw nothing, but that's awesome because that guy got paid for that.
Right? So now they're convincing her to come to the Bahamas to celebrate Christmas with them. I love it. Go to the Bahamas, man. Yes, she'll do it. She'll do it.
Then she'll become a real Bahama mama.
Oh, love it.
Yep. I'll be
I
here
love that
all
they-
week, ladies and gentlemen.
They actually filmed in the Bahamas. I absolutely love it.
I honestly imagine that they probably figured like whoever got hired to write it and like knew this was going to suck. Let's just set it in the Bahamas so at least everyone's going to have fun.
Right. So I forgot to mention at the top, and I'll do it now, the IMDb plot. Chief Brody's widow believes that her family is deliberately being targeted by another shark in search of revenge. So, to the point.
There's no like subtle nuances in this movie of like little plot lines that like you're not going to catch the first time around. Like what you see is what you get. This is
Now
just pure crap.
We get that ominous shot of the chewed up log on the shore here. It's so creepy.
And it looked like there was a tooth in there.
Could have been. So they're on this little puddle jumper plane now, and I love that their pilot is Hoagie, one of my favorite characters in all of cinema. Michael Caine.
And I love how he's never one of the few people that does a bad movie that does not come back later to talk crap about it. He's just like, nope, I made money. It was cool.
Yeah, he was paid 1.5 million to be in this. And filming, it was so short in the Bahamas, but it would happen to be just over the period of time when he won an Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for Hannah and Her Sisters. And he couldn't go collect his award at the ceremony because he was stuck in the Bahamas filming. But he doesn't disparage. He just says, I never saw the movie, but I've seen the house that it built. So
I think that's great because so many people talk crap about the movies after they're done. And it's like that ruins it for some of us fans.
Mm-hmm. So he mentions about losing some money gambling or something here while they're flying, just casually, because Mike knows him. And it's a whole subplot in the novel that he's a drug runner. He launders money and runs money for like the mobs on the island or something. It's this whole subplot that they don't put in the movie.
Huh.
Yeah. It makes Hoagie a bit of a shady character. And there's also more scenes that were cut from the movie. One of them is when he's in the casino gambling. There's a more extended gambling scene with Michael Caine that they did shoot.
I just love the fact that, this character eventually grows up to, raise Bruce Wayne to become Batman.
So their taxi driver here is singing them A Christmas Carol. Thank you very much. Christmas movie.
Are we gonna point out every place where this is a Christmas movie?
Yes.
Just rub it in the face.
Absolutely. That's why we're releasing it in December, because it's a fucking Christmas movie.
It is. And you just saw Christmas decorations on a house.
That's right. I love their cute little setup here. Their backyard has this little rickety little dock off into the water where the kids all just play.
I think that's awesome, but it just kind of makes me wonder, who are those kids?
Her little best friends, her neighbors.
Oh, okay. I thought like just random kids just came over and started playing in the backyard.
No,
like,
she says their she says their names, like she knows them. Honestly, though, I think rewatching these, I always flip flop back and forth if I like Catherine or Carla better. I actually like Catherine better for Mike Brody. She's okay.
I like, okay, I'm assuming they meant for her to come off a little bitchy throughout the movie. that was the intention. And so that's why I like the actress. I thought she did a good job. The character, I am not a fan of.
Right. So what do you think of this, her welding project?
Uh, yeah, as an art person, this is pretty much what abstract art looks like.
Does it look like a shark to you?
It looks like an abstract shark.
Yes. I thought that was funny.
But I mean, you're really stretching on the shark thing. I mean, like you really have to look for
That's the
shark
intention,
design.
though. Yeah. This always makes me mad in movies. We get the fake out dream sequence. Ellen swimming and she imagines getting attacked by the shark.
I don't mind it if it's done right, but this is not done like to me. What works is when you don't know it's a dream sequence and you're like really suckered into, oh shit, did that just happen?
Yeah.
This, like, okay, you knew this wasn't going to be real.
Well, yeah, there's no lead up or anything to it. She's just in the water.
And I believe when they marketed the movie, I mean, I was kind of too young to notice or anything, but I think that they kind of like insinuated she's the star, so you're not going to kill the star in the first like 30 minutes of the film.
Right. Well, not this franchise anyway. You
No.
need her to helm this. In fact, a fun story that I mentioned when we covered this movie, Nikki Flicks and I, with Chief Martin of the Amity Jaws group on Facebook for season 1 episode in the Patreon, folks. I mentioned the story about how she wanted to do this movie because her husband at the time was the head of the studio, Sid Sheinberg, and Lorraine Gary. And he was like, you know, what do you want for your birthday? How about another Jaws movie? Because they needed to do another Jaws movie. And she was like, sure. I love that.
That's cool. I love the fact that you got a chance to see her take the spotlight for once, because in the first 2 films, she was there, but she was just a kind of like, you know, a background character in a sense. You didn't get much out of her.
True.
But you knew there was potential with her.
So now we've got Mike at work tagging snails on the ocean floor. And he's working with his best friend and colleague, Jake. And that's Mario Van Peebles. Or Pebbles.
I was going to say, not to be confused with Fruity Peebles.
Fruity Peebles. So they're doing something for a doctorate or a paper, or I'm not sure what exactly, for a university or something.
It doesn't. I've never been able to follow this plot line. Like what was the importance of whatever they were doing?
Yeah, well, marine biologist, you know, tagging the sea life and whatnot. But
I always wondered, was this the problem with people that grew up with these movies, these shark movies, and then wanted to become a marine biologist, thinking, oh, it's going to be glorious. I'm going to study sharks. I'm going to do this. And then you got some of them out there like, you know, sticking sea nails in the ass.
Sea nails? You mean
snails?
Snails?
Sea nails.
Nailing the snails in the ass. Yeah. I do like their relationship though. And you've got 2 phenomenal actors. So why wouldn't it be believable? They're so cool together.
It's actually kind of sad that the chemistry was better between Jake and Michael than it was between Michael and his wife.
So we get Jake and his wife, Louisa, that's Lynn Whitfield, an amazing actress in her own right. And the Brodies, they're all sitting around the Christmas tree opening presents because it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, people. This is a Christmas movie.
And I really don't like here that fucking Thea keeps bombarding her grandma with like, tell me stories about how Uncle Sean was a little asshole. You know? It's like, let the woman grieve.
Well, kids don't know any better.
I know. Just got to give her some shit.
I mean, if kids were smart, then, you know, they would go out and get a damn job.
I always thought it was such a bummer that Lorraine Gary was um considered worst actress at the Razzies for this. I'm like, no, she's really not. You're just doing it because the movie's a stinker. They were bitter.
Yeah. I mean, she's got like one scene in this entire movie that I can think of where I was like, okay, that was pretty bad. But for the most part, this movie was just really good. With at least with the acting wise. Not the movie. I don't want people jumping down my throat saying, like, oh, you think this is the greatest Jaws movie? No.
Oh no. I like it better than three. Three's my least favorite.
Yes.
Even though I like Catherine better.
This was, as a kid, this was my favorite Jaws movie because I hadn't seen the original yet. So it's like this was the go-to at the rental store. Then of course I saw the original and like, okay, yeah, this is not as good anymore.
All right. So we're back in the water. Yeah, Lorraine Gary actually was nominated for Best Actress in All Seriousness. Oh, there's the shark. He's coming.
Bad shark.
It's horrible. It's so bad. But
I've seen worse though.
She was nominated for at the 88 Academy of Sci-Fi, Fantasy, and Horror Film Awards for Best Actress in All Seriousness, not a Razzie, which I liked that.
For this movie?
For this movie, yeah.
Good for her.
That's what I said. She's not a bad actress. It's just a horrible movie.
Yeah.
And then we get the whole Jamie Lloyd with Michael Myers psychic connection here. As soon as she puts her feet in the water, she can sense the shark.
That is such a terrible plot line.
Yep. Good music though. Sufficiently creepy.
And the little girl plays it great.
Oh, she's so adorable. Oh, here comes Hoagie in his little rowboat. It's not nice to be evasive. That's what mommy says to daddy. This little bitch got ears. So gorgeous. The Bahamas is so gorgeous. The water.
I always kind of wondered because they insinuated it, but they never really like actually said it. I wonder if she ever got a taste of some hoagie.
Well, they definitely make out. All right, so we're back with Jake and Mike on the boat here. So he's making his little transponder equipment stuff, which I like that the theme in this movie, Jake's very on hands-on with his equipment, and he's always like, Uncle Jake's equipment don't crap out. So good.
His accent, there was like a point where I thought his accent was just kind of like terrible. I think it was like the first time I heard it, and then it started to grow on me. So by the end of the movie, I'm just like, I love it.
Well, he's doing like borderline Jamaican accent.
He is, but he's like not getting it like in the beginning, like he's not getting it really perfectly. It's like it seems a little bit off, but it grows on me the more I hear it.
Well, that's why it's funny to me because they're in the Bahamas. He's Bahamian, but he's got this full Jamaican accent. You knock off that drumming. Michael's spying on his mom walking on the beach with Hoagie.
Which, I mean, now that I know the shady backstory, it makes a little bit more sense because like the first few times I watched this movie and I'm seeing this, I'm like, dude, you're a grown ass man. If your mom wants to boink somebody, let her.
He's concerned because of Hoagie's business affiliations and whatnot.
Yeah. Now it makes sense. Before I was just like, like what is he jealous that basically someone else is moving into what was essentially his first apartment?
Yep. She's telling Hoagie that she thinks the shark is coming for them. You think I'm crazy, don't you?
It's always
Ah.
so weird for me to see him so young. Just used to him being an old man.
You know what I like though? You say he looks young here, but they're older. They're in their what 50s, and he's maybe a little older than her. And it's a love story, sort of, with them. They're a couple that we focus on a lot in this movie. And you don't see that a lot. An older couple having a love story being the focus. I really like that about this movie.
Yeah, not anymore. Like today's generation, it's got to be young love. You can't have old love because old love is disgusting, apparently.
Ah. Oh, he's giving her a flying lesson. It's so cute. I love it. I mean, 80s hairstyles and clothing aside. That's the painful part for me in this movie.
It's only painful because you were around to be rocking some of these hairstyles.
Right? I never went that short, but boy, I knew some people that did. And the shoulder pads, those were a real thing. We didn't need them. We really didn't. But we wore them anyway. Okay. This is your girlfriend's favorite scene, the Junkanoo scene. I know that.
You know this is her favorite scene?
Yep. She's mentioned it before. And what's funny is you can't tell by watching their chemistry in this, but this was their first day of shooting together, Lorraine Gary and Michael Caine. And in an interview, she said he was so warm and welcoming and made it so easy for me in this scene because she was nervous to just be back doing this again. Yeah, that was their first scene together, was shooting the Junkanoo scene. So now we're back with Michael and Jake in the water. Jake is in this little submersible, which I'll post a picture on socials. And the shark comes right by him. I'm not sure if we can see the mechanics in this scene or not of it underneath
I thought
the
you
shark.
could.
Can you?
I thought this was one of the ones where you could, but I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen this.
Okay, let's keep an eagle eye for it. Oh, here he comes.
He's just like cruising on by too.
Yeah, he's like, hey, what you doing in there? What's going on, buddy?
Okay, it didn't look like you could.
And he pops up at the surface.
Her shark sense is tingling.
Her shark sense, yes. Akin to the Spidey sense. I know the shark is just chilling on the top of the water, just gnawing on the boat. Like, really, bro?
Apparently, this shark is like part whale.
He really wants. Oh, he's bleeding because he ate so much of the wood he poked himself. You think if you start to hurt yourself so much you draw blood, you'd quit.
Well, I always wonder, is that what he was doing, or was he just trying to floss?
So back at the Junkanoo, Ellen got her Spidey sense that something was wrong.
And now she's partying down.
So she tries to play it off. And Hoagie's telling her, sharks come and go. You know, don't worry about it. I will say, Hoagie's trying to talk some sense into her. Now, he says, I know what you've been through. And then we cut to a shot of them walking away. And he goes, don't worry, the nightmares will stop. In between there was a scene that got cut where he tells her a big story, like that relates to something. I don't know, because we don't get to see it. It got cut. I always thought that was a weird, abrupt cut. And now years later doing the research, yeah, he had a whole story there. Hoagie did.
Well, you know what this means, right? Like all this stuff that we're learning, this we need to start to petition to get the director's cut of this film released.
Yes. Give me the director's cut. 4K print.
Exactly. Special commentary.
That's
with the
right.
shark.
With the shark. That's hilarious. So I forgot to mention earlier the rest of the Razzies. Apparently, this was nominated for Worst Picture, Worst Actor, Bruce the Shark, Worst Actress, Worst Supporting Actor, Michael Caine, which boo, Worst Director, Worst Screenplay, and Worst Visual Effects. It actually won Worst Visual Effects.
Okay, well, at least it won something.
You know
Also,
what?
for the people paying attention, Christmas Lights, Christmas
Yep.
movie.
Christmas Lights. Yep. Hoagie's bringing Ellen back from a date. But the movie that swept the Razzies was Leonard Part 6 with Bill Cosby. So if you've ever seen that,
Chances are no one has.
this always makes me laugh. So Michael and Carla are kind of in bed in the bedroom talking, and he's spying that his mom's being dropped off and he's bothered. So she's like, I'm going to get his attention by slingshotting my panties at him. She hits him right in the chest. You know, I've tried that with many different styles of panties to see which one works the best. Thongs work the best, but they still don't make it that far. She shoots that like 10 feet. That's impressive.
Well, I mean, to be fair, she looks like she's had experience slingshotting panties at people.
Well, she is a sexy welder, so you know.
Yeah, I mean, that right there, that you know she's getting all kinds of ass.
Such a cute, respectful little scene at the porch. You can kind of tell he wants to give her a kiss, but she's like, I'm not comfortable yet. I'm going in.
Which is funny. We go from basically, the dirty, slutty wife of her son trying to hey, come on, get away from the window and come over here and give me a boinking, to the mother who's
Right.
very respectable and loving.
So now we're celebrating New Year's Eve in the casino on the island. Everyone is dressed to the nines. It's also Louisa's birthday, Jake's wife, and she's a dealer, so they're waiting for her to get off work. We see Hoagie at a table. Everyone's cheering. He's playing, what is that, craps?
Perhaps.
Everything on the line. That's so much. Oh my God, that's so many stacks of.
Hey,
Oh.
you only live once.
Oh. And then he loses it all, I believe, right?
I honestly don't remember.
I think he craps out.
Oh, Snake
Snake
Eyes.
eyes. I guess that's bad. Here comes Louisa looking fly. Fly girl.
Yeah, now see, that's a nice hairstyle.
Oh, she's so pretty, Lynn Whitfield.
She is. And her and Jake were such a cute couple in this movie.
Oh, they're so believable. They're adorable. Happy birthday, Louisa. And Happy New Year. Yep. Oh,
I always feel bad for anybody born on a holiday like that. It just takes away from it.
yeah. My sister, one of them, is like 3 days before Christmas. And that always is hard because you get birthday presents wrapped in Christmas paper. And people say, oh, this is your birthday and Christmas. Like your birthday's never separate.
No.
Oh, I love this. So Hoagie asks Ellen to dance. He's all, I have 2 left feet. He's so adorable. I would totally want him for like my grandpa.
Oh, you can admit it. You got a crush on Hoagie.
I had a crush on Michael in this growing up. I always thought Lance Guest was the bee's knees.
Go for those older guys.
No, not then. But I did see also too, it was his character. He's so sweet. He goes and he cuts in now and wants to talk to his mom. I love that line. They give Hoagie the best line.
They give him the best everything.
Michael cuts in, yeah, and Hoagie says the world would be a better place if more sons danced with their mothers. It's just like, oh, I love you, Hoagie. Be my grandpa. I don't like Hoagie chasing after you. Get over it, bro. She's a grown woman. This is such an 80s song that they're dancing to as well. I want to say it's Atlantic Star is the band. I'm not sure what song.
I am not 100% sure. This is not one of those movies where I went out and bought the soundtrack immediately after.
You didn't?
No.
I'm so surprised.
Well, I mean, part of the reason why is because they cut out the best song in the entire movie.
What's that?
It was when the shark sings "Come Sail Away with Me."
A duet with Hoagie. That's hilarious. So I do like, though, that here is a weird turning point for her character where she decides she's going to give up the shark obsession. She's like, I'm over it, Michael. Don't worry about it. We're all good. And then this is when the shark decides, oh, yeah? You're over it, bitch? Guess what?
Which further, delves into the whole psychic connection, because apparently the shark can feel that psychic connection of like, no, we're not done yet.
So now Jake and Mike are on the boat and none of the crew is there. And Mike's like, what's up? What's going on? Jake's like, well, how about we take a few days to study this shark that has no business being in the Bahamas because it's warm water and he shouldn't be here. And Mike's like, no, I don't want to do that. Jake never do anything today.
Is it just me, or does that look like a bong?
It does.
Now I understand why Jake is so happy.
Right? He's like, we're just going to study the shark. Come on. I wouldn't want to do it either. If sharks never come to the Bahamas like that kind of a shark, why would you risk it? Like something's weird, right?
Exactly.
Oh, I don't get my doctorate, neither do you if we don't turn in our snail report. Okay, that makes sense. Ooh, Mike's pissed. I'm out of here. Taking my bag and I'm leaving.
He's been such a child since his mom came back around.
I know, acting like a little bratty kid.
Yep. Like,
you know what? The being around your parents, it does that to you. It really does. They're always your parents. Jake's making a good point. He's saying this is why we do what we do. We'd be foolish not to take advantage. But on the other hand, they do have a job to do. They're supposed to be getting their doctorate.
That's a good point. Plus, I mean, like, it is a little bit of a dick move on Jake's part to be like, hey, you want to study a shark? Oh, yeah, that's right. Your brother was killed by a shark.
Yeah, you'd think it'd pique his interest a little.
Yeah.
You don't know shit about anything, boy. Teach you how to wear your hair. I don't like Jake's hair, though. I'm not a fan of the dreadlock look on anybody.
It looks good on him. I'll admit it looks good on him.
I'm not sure. I didn't look it up. I'm not sure if they really did that with his hair or if it's like a wig.
I always assumed it was a wig. I don't think he did I don't recall him ever having dreadlocks.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, domestic bliss. Carla and Mike arguing about taking out the trash. Just when I need my Jaws movie. That's funny. Oh, that's where he wants to make love to an angry welder. It's coming up.
I mean, this is one of those movies where it's so bad that, a pair of titties would probably save it.
That's true. We don't actually get nudity in this or sex.
We don't get anything.
And we don't get kills. I mean, the shark kills Sean in the beginning, and he eats Banana Boat Lady later. And then he tries to eat Jake. That's it. This movie is not full of blood and gore and kills. There's no nudity and sex. It's weird.
It really is weird. I mean, none of the Jaws movies really were known for nudity, though. I mean, I think the original one's the only one that has that brief scene.
True.
But yeah, there's a lot more gore in the other ones.
Always wanted to make love to an angry welder. Oh, it's a good pickup line though. It works on her. She turns it off and they start making out. So there you go. Shut the door later. No, dude, you have a small child, all right? Little decorum, please.
Yeah, the last thing you need is the little girl to catch this.
Traumatizer. Not as much as the banana boat will.
No.
Chum in the water. Bet that smells good.
That looks tasty.
This is so crazy. They're hanging this big slab of, I don't know, goat leg or whatever the fuck it is over the water to entice Mr. Shark. And they take him out on a rope so he can stick him with this transmitter thing. This is so fucking tense. I hate this part. Even though we know the shark is fake and ridiculous looking, it's still tense to me because I'm like, you can't see right in the water under you. And that's a fear of mine, is going in water you can't see what's under the surface.
That's why I will not swim in rivers, lakes, ponds, oceans.
Oh, they spot him. Okay. He's coming. He's coming. Slowly.
They're just sitting there waiting, be like, any day now.
Any day. He's just coasting along.
Yeah. This shark is just like the lazy, just kind of chilling shark.
He is very lazy. He's not even in like kill mode. Like I said, he only kills 2 people, 2.5. Why you gotta keep chumming and look at you? Saw him coming. He's making a beeline. Right up out of the water. Rawr. His head bob is so mechanical and terrible.
This is such a it's like they took the shark from the Universal ride and put it in the movie.
Yes. I love that, Jake. They're all in shock and he forgets to pull him back. He's like, now would be a good time. Pull me back. Well, they got it, so they can track him now. Oh, down with the fin. So dramatic. This shark is so drama.
This is the most drama queen shark I've ever seen.
They needed to not show the close-ups like this where you can see the seam on his fucking tail and shit. Oh, Hoagie and Ellen are going to the little outdoor bar, which reminds me of the movie Cocktail.
I never saw Cocktail.
Oh, that's one from the 80s you should visit, not because it's a great movie, but just to check it off your list.
I'll consider it. I've never been, I'm an okay Tom Cruise fan, but not a huge Tom Cruise fan.
Oh, me either. I love this. We get little flirty conversation with them. He's like, you can fly with me.
I never thought of this being a love story until you brought it up. It's like, that is kind of a good point. This is it's almost like Hallmark presents Jaws.
It is. I have an irresistible urge to kiss you, Ellen Brody. It's so cute. Let him do it.
Do it. Kiss him. Kiss him.
I like though that leading up to that, she's like, I bet a lot of girls would like to go with you. And he goes, yeah, they would, but I've grown tired of one-way conversations. Mature love. I like to see it.
There we go.
Yay. They're so
It's
cute.
it's officially become how Ellen got her groove back.
And I love that they order Bahama Mamas to drink. And it's too early right now for a Bahama Mama, so I'm drinking my coffee. But if anybody wants to make a Bahama Mama, if you're over 21, you need 1.5 ounces of coconut or white rum, 1 ounce of pineapple juice, 2 ounces OJ, half an ounce lime juice, and a splash of grenadine. And you whip yourself up a Bahama Mama. Put a little umbrella, a paper umbrella in it, and it's delicious.
Oh, I know it is on my shopping list.
Right? They're fucking yummy.
I usually just get like some coconut rum, some fruit punch, and some Sprite and mix that shit up.
Hey, you're close. Close to the Bahama Mama.
Yeah, see, I can't do the Bahama Mama, so I created the Blubba Bubba.
What's that? What's in that?
Huh? That's what I just described. It's a Blubba Bubba.
Oh, okay. Like the
It's
hillbilly
because
version?
It's because no, it's the poor fat man Reno, Nevada version.
Well, because, Bubba, like being a redneck name.
Yeah, but you come down here and you'll see some redneck people. Nice
Yeah.
people, but redneck people.
So this part where they're on the boat tracking the shark and you hear the blop, 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 blop of like the heartbeat or whatever from his device
Yes.
always makes me think of the Nintendo game, the 8-bit Jaws Nintendo game,
Oh,
which
I love that.
came out in the same year, I believe. And it is based on Jaws the Revenge because you get the break where you're in Hoagie's plane and you're dropping bombs on the little jellyfish. You collect conch or conch shells, whatever they call them, like the snail shells.
Yep.
So it's totally Jaws the Revenge. And you hear the blop, 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 blop when he's coming near you when you get the tracker.
Oh, yeah.
And supposedly, I've never made it to the end, but supposedly you ram the shark with your ship and that's the end. And you see a little graphic of it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've never been able to do it. To me, that game, and I'm sure a lot of hardcore gamers are going to say I'm nuts, but that game is on par with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, where it's just difficult as hell for me to play.
Yeah. Do you play the 8-bit stuff still?
Oh yeah, I've got a little device. I will not name it because I don't know how legal it is.
Oh, like an 8-bit knockoff.
Yeah, well, not a knockoff, but yeah, it's like a little portable device thing, and it's got a bunch of old Nintendo games on there.
Oh, neat.
This is because I got to tell this story because a friend of mine found a hacked version of Mike Tyson's Punch Out, where every character in the game is naked.
Oh my God.
And I've got it on. So it's like I've got 8-bit nudity.
I don't think I need to see naked Mike Tyson punching people. That's weird.
I've never made it to that level. I've seen the little guys naked, and it is hilarious.
That is very weird. Oh my God.
I don't know who would come up with that stuff.
People with a lot of time on their hands.
Oh, yeah.
So now we got Michael and little Thea at the table, and he's deep in thought. And this is where she's going to start copying him. And
There's
Ellen stops and watches.
There's actually quite a lot of references to the original Jaws in this movie. This is the best one, though.
That's why you have to skip 3. It goes, 1, 2, 4, because it is a legacy sequel.
Yeah.
She's so fucking cute. It's
She's
so
adorable.
tragic what happened to her. Yeah.
I think that's one of the reasons I have a hard time watching this movie.
Because of knowing the tragedy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, those shoulder pads. Ellen. Just no.
What was it with you women in the 80s? Did like men back then think that like big broad shoulders was sexy?
Yeah, I don't know. We just needed to look like linebackers. I don't know why. Aw, they're peeking. They're so cute. I love that he figures out she's doing it, and so he purposely. I love fish face when they do fish face here. Do the fish face. The music is so whimsical and cute. This is so cute. I keep saying that. Fish face.
There we go. I've never been able to do that. I can't do it.
Yeah, I did it. It looks weird. I know. You got to really suck those cheeks in hard.
What she said.
Try it. Suck your between your teeth. There you go.
I can't make the lips move when I do it, though. I just feel like I'm sucking like a Slurpee and I'm not getting anything out of it.
Oh, that's funny. Oh, she's leaving in a few days. Oh,
And I love the fact that she pours a beer properly.
into a glass.
Yes.
You don't like to drink them right from the bottle, like a savage?
Well, no. I mean, like the way she did the pour, way, because a lot of people you see in movies will not do the pour properly, and they'll put a lot of head on it.
Okay. I don't know. I'm not a beer person, a beer drinker.
I'm not a beer drinker either, but like the few times that I have had beer or have friends that have beer, they told me the proper way to pour it because you don't want a lot of head because you get all the foam and less beer.
Right. I like that when he's underwater in the submersible thing, Mike is, and then Jake is on the thing. He's going blup, 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 like fucking with him. Mr. Shark, blup, blup. So a lot of this shots at the end, this part, they're still in the Bahamas, but at the end, we'll mention when we get there, they did it in a tank on the lot at Universal. And I want to say it's the same tank they used for Leviathan and later for like Truman Show and some other stuff. But definitely the water horror movie Leviathan, it was the same fucking tank.
That was another movie I've never seen that I've always wanted to see.
Oh, really?
Yes, because that's the one with Peter Weller, right?
Yes.
Yes, I love me some Peter Weller.
Well, have you seen Deep Star 6 with Greg Evigan?
Nope, that's another one.
Oh my God, those are two of my favorite water monster movies.
Because I remember I always used to get them confused because Deep Star 6, I always loved the cover for the video cassette. It was so epic.
Oh, here he comes.
Got like a smile on his face. Like he's like, hey guys.
Yep. Oh, you can see the horrible mechanics under the shark. Did you see it?
Yep.
So bad.
I can never get over those teeth too.
And his mouth, it doesn't even move properly.
He's not even attacking. He's nibbling. He's going in for like a love nibble on Mike right now.
His mouth is so open and not closing, like to bite, that I'm waiting for him to stick his tongue out and like lick it.
His nose bent.
So this scene now, he gets out of the submersible and swims off, and the shark makes chase, and there's this whole chase scene, and he goes into an abandoned, like a sunk ship and all this. This whole thing was lifted from an early draft of Jaws 3 that they didn't use. And I love it in this movie. It's funny because the shark is terrible, but it's also suspenseful because you're like, go, go, go. Get away.
I don't recall like as a kid if I was like on the edge of my seat watching this, but like now I'm laughing because I know so much about sharks that it's like this some bitch is like he's going at like 2 miles an hour in the water, and Michael's freaking out that the shark's going to catch him. It's like this shark is not going to catch shit.
And the shark is so big, and he goes into this like little ship, sunken ship situation. It's like you're fine. It always freaks me out though when he gets to the end where this ladder is and the shark magically breaks through the hole and like gets stopped by the ladder right in front of him. I'm like, ah, here he comes.
How the hell is that goofy looking chubby son of a bitch traveling through this thing?
I know. You think he'd barely fit.
This is ridiculous. I love it though.
I love that it made it into this movie because if this would have been in 3, maybe 3 would have been better.
Yeah.
Because I love a good chase scene. This is hilarious. Oh no, he's right up on me. What am I going to do? You would not, this isn't like Michael Myers. Like you wouldn't have seconds to look back over your shoulder and then make it through the door. The shark would have been on top of you.
Any normal shark, yes. This shark, no. I mean, the only thing that would have made that scene even better is if, like, when the shark got right up to him, he's like, "Hey, I've been trying to reach you about your car insurance."
Your extended warranty. Here he comes. Oh, and he gets caught on that ladder. You're so lucky. Oh, look at all the, you could see all the stuff under the shark. It's so bad.
It's a great scene though, because it's clever the way he uses the air tank.
I have to say though, all the behind the scenes photos I always see of people in the water with the fake shark from all the Jaws movies. Fuck that noise. You would not catch me in the water with that motherfucking fake shark. I don't care.
I would be in the water, especially this one. This one is like the Muppets version of Jaws.
Oh, nope. You would not catch me in the water with that fake shark. No, thank you.
Those sharks are not scary looking.
It'd be too much. I have such a crazy brain about stuff like creative. I'd be thinking like, oh, it's gonna get me. Just no. I'd be thinking of all the different things that could be in the water.
I mean, I've got a crazy creative brain too, because like my mind immediately went to like with him waking up and like looking over his shoulder. I wanted the shark to be in bed, like right next to him, and then wake up and it's the dream.
Like a Prince of Darkness, a dream within a dream.
Exactly.
That's fucking funny. The shark can fling its panties at him.
If you're gonna make crap, you gotta stare into it and just make full crap.
Totally. I do like though that after that sort of traumatizing event that he went through with the shark and then nightmares the night before, now he's back in the water. He's like, you got to get back on the saddle. Jake's such a good friend. He's like, I can't let you go in there. That's such a good message though. I'm scared, but I'm going in anyway because what else am I going to do? Like, fuck yeah, bro.
That's it. That's how you man up.
Yep, exactly. Get back on that horse. Do it.
Exactly. It would have been better if he would have got ate by the shark like right now.
Oh, goodness. So for this, some of the budget went to different sharks. Always see this one shark on the dolly trolley situation under the water here rolling back and forth. But they actually did 7 different sharks and segments made out of the fiberglass, metal frame, the latex skin. And there were 2 models fully articulated for jumping. One was for the ramming sequences. There was half a shark, a top half for the water, top of the water. One was just a fin. And then apparently 2 models had rib sections. And they had so many different sharks to work with. Okay, so what was that? A moray eel that just popped out and scared him?
Yeah.
They were so worried about his safety as an actor that they had to hire a stunt performer, Gavin McKinney, to do that one shot with the moray eel.
Which is weird because I never imagined moray eels being that dangerous. But it's like, yeah, I guess it's got teeth that can bite you. So yeah.
Yeah, stunt performer just for that, for 2-second shot. So now we're on the beach. Carla, Louisa, little Thea, and they're doing the dedication to the town of her sculpture that she made as a welder. So the man speaking at the microphone is the mayor of their town. So Thea's off on the banana boat. Uh-oh, this is not going to go well, as we know. Has this made you afraid? Like, would you ever go on a banana boat after watching this?
Uh it was never these movies that made me terrified of the water. It was the actual shit that's in the water that made me terrified of the water.
No, I'm talking about a banana boat, bro. Would you go? Would you go do that if somebody said, "Hey, let's go"?
If it's in like a pool, yes.
Of course, it's not in a pool.
Well, then no.
Nope.
I am one of those people that I will go to the beach and I will hang out. But the two things I am not doing are taking my shirt off and getting in the water.
Oh, shark vision. He's tracking that banana boat. There's the fin. Oh, Ellen
And
saw the
everyone's
fin
looking.
from there. Yeah.
I love how everyone was looking at her like, "What the hell are you screaming about, lady?"
And then they saw the shark fin. And then a big shark came. Look out. Running, running, running. Oh, slow mo. Slow mo. And sharks go straight up out of the water like that, open their mouth, and they wait for you to stick your foot in to his mouth.
Yep.
Please eat me. This bitch.
I love how she was screaming stop, like the shark suddenly gonna be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend anybody. I'm gonna get out of
Right?
here."
And then also hilariously, the back of the banana boat there is shredded, flailing in the water with blood coming off of it. Like, what? That's an effective shot, the shark going into the water with her in his mouth. But
I always wondered, was this like to make up for the fact that they didn't do the original Kittner death scene?
you know, it has to be. It has to be a here you go, people. Okay. Ellen's like, I'm on a
This
mission
is
now.
this is that like melodramatic moment that just the only bad acting moment in the entire movie for her to me.
This time it's personal.
Yeah.
Okay. Luckily, little Thea survives that, though. She's okay. Ellen hops on the boat and off she goes by herself.
Yeah, I was like, what is at first for a long time, me and the girlfriend would talk about this, like, what is she gonna do on a boat by herself against a shark?
She says it in the movie. Do you not remember? She's going to sacrifice herself to the shark so that it will end. She thinks that the shark is coming for them and it ultimately is working its way up to her. So if she just sacrifices herself to the shark, it would all be over.
Which is a stupid premise because the shark is after every single one of them.
It's absolutely ridiculous. Of course it is.
Yeah. But I will give her credit that she's pulling it off beautifully because of those shoulder pads. She looks like an 80s action hero.
And those big glasses.
Yes.
Don't fuck with Ellen Brody. She's the Ripley of Amity. Oh, Thea's in shock.
That's what it needed. That's exactly what it needed was
What?
it needed Ellen to do the walking up to the shark and do the get away from her, you bitch.
That is the one thing this movie was missing. You're absolutely right. It would have been chef's kiss. I love it. This bitch. Why didn't you tell us? Blah, 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 blah. Fuck you, Carla. Gotta save my mama. He's got the bluest eyes, wearing a blue shirt. I just had the biggest crush on him. Who was your crush out of all the Jaws movies? Who was your favorite girl to crush on?
Of all the Jaws movies?
Well, yeah, because clearly this one you're not picking Carla.
No. You're gonna give me so much shit. So much shit. Jackie.
Really?
I do not care.
I won't give you shit.
I do not care if she was a screamer. In fact, that was one of the things that as a kid I liked about her. Fellas, fellas, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So I'm sure she's a lovely person, but I never liked her face. I mean, yeah, the screaming. Yeah, but I never liked her face. So, but you know, more power to you. You like who you like, you know?
I thought she was cute. I really did.
That's cool. That's cool. Good thing I don't swing that way. I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, granted, this was like ages and ages ago. I mean, now I'm not like, eh.
Yeah. So Michael and Jake grabbed Hoagie. They're in his plane. They're off to find his mom. They're going to save her. So I wanted to mention.
I was going to say, but I mean, that makes sense. I mean, before you go on a trip, you want to get a hoagie.
I wanted to mention when I had mentioned earlier, all of Mario's lines were pretty much improvised. You know, there's a name for that. It's called the Harpo does something funny trope, because apparently the Marx Brothers movies, because Harpo never spoke, they would always just write in the scripts, Harpo does something funny here. And they would just tell him, do whatever you want and like improvise shit and do multiple takes. Oh. So whenever they have to improvise stuff, they call it the Harpo does something funny trope. And I thought that was so neat.
That is cool. I did not know that Harpo was the one that basically started kind of that. I always loved Harpo. Harpo was like my second favorite Marx Brother.
Oh, I was a Groucho girl.
Yeah, Groucho's the main one, but Harpo was number 2 for me.
I've been going back and watching some of the old game shows and stuff that he hosted and everything, and the old movies. And I was too young when I first saw them to appreciate them. Groucho was so ahead of his time.
Oh, yeah.
Such a sarcastic, hilarious motherfucker.
You would not have the TV series MASH if it wasn't for Groucho Marx.
Oh, do tell.
Well, because like Hawkeye's entire act throughout that series was Groucho.
All right. So see, the shark's coming for her. He's behind the boat now. And this is where she's gonna step to the end of the boat and sacrifice herself to him somehow. I don't understand what she thinks she's doing, because is the shark gonna leap up onto the boat to get her? What is she thinking here? I don't know.
It's gonna be like that scene in Dirty Dancing where she's gonna jump off the boat and the shark's gonna lift her up. And then they're gonna start singing "I've Had the Time of My Life."
This is a great overhead shot, though. I like the shot of showing the shark coming toward the boat, because he's fucking big. See how and then she goes up and she falls down. They do a flyby overhead.
Yeah,
I like how the boat's messed up.
Yeah, it didn't look like the shark did anything, and I don't think he was going to be able to get her. So this was poor planning all around.
It was poor planning all around. Why didn't she just swan dive right off into his fucking mouth like the banana boat girl? Just dive right in. So the plane, he's going to try to land near the boat to save her. Are you sure you know how to do this? Of course not. I would imagine he's probably landed on water a few times if he's a drug runner, launderer, whatever. Like, come on.
Probably, but not at that speed.
He lands right next to the boat, though. Good job.
It was the emergency brake.
So they're in the tank here. You can see the background. Mike, see the background there? The painted clouds and the dark water rim at the base where the wall meets the water.
I mean, I can now that you broke the illusion.
Yeah, well, they'll show it again.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like before, I was like immersed in the film of like thinking they were still in the Bahamas, but now all I see is like a backlot.
Hoagie has to bail because the shark attacks him at the plane. See the background there?
Yeah, I see it now.
You're welcome. That's the tank at Universal.
Is there any other like childhood like things that I love that you want to like ruin for me?
The Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, all not real.
Oh, hopefully there's no kids listening to this.
The Great Pumpkin, not real. Sorry, Charlie Brown. Or Linus. Sorry, Linus. So they
Yeah,
thought Hoagie got killed here. It was so sad.
I honestly keep forgetting. I always thought Hoagie died. Because that was like the only thing, the only two near deaths that broke my heart were Hoagie and Jakey Boy up there.
Yep.
Because that I was like, I love those
There he
characters.
is.
Everyone else.
So what is your beef with this scene here? Is it the same beef everybody else has? About Hoagie's shirt. He comes up out of the water and his shirt's pretty much dry.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Lots of people have a beef with that. And I actually looked it up because I thought it was hilarious. Michael Caine said in an interview that the shot took so long to set up that his shirt dried. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't you just douse him real quick again with water? Like, but yeah, he said it was hot out and the shot took too long, so my shirt dried. Like, what you gonna do?
Well, like you said, douse him. But then I could see him coming back and saying, like, I'm Michael Caine, motherfucker. No one douses Michael Caine.
Nobody douses the cane. So they're trying to fix the boat now because apparently they're getting waterlogged underneath or something. I don't understand how that happened.
I'm assuming maybe the shark came by and like just like with a little like knife poked a hole in the boat or something.
So Jake is rigging up this piece of equipment now that's going to give an electrical shark. They're going to drop it in his mouth so he swallows it, and it's going to give him an electrical charge from the inside, which is going to confuse and upset it or something.
Which is so. That's great. Like this is so like elaborate. The planning of like, oh, we're going to do this, and then we're going to confuse the shark, and we got to make sure the shark doesn't kill the boat. And it's like, it's a shark, guys. It's not going to do anything.
Right? Oh, it's so funny. Like, well, yeah, what is your plan exactly? You're going to drop that thing in the shark's mouth, and then what exactly?
We're going to give it indigestion.
My equipment don't crap out. That's right, Jake. Oh, there's the set again. Where'd he go? Can't hear the bloop, 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 bloop. Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Like you get the da-da. Yeah. He's slowly coming. Da-da.
That's what they needed. They needed a scene of like one of them yelling like, oh my God, he's coming really slowly.
Da-da. Okay, turn the boat. There you go. Jake climbing out on the fucking bow. Was it the bow? And he's
know
gonna
nothing about boats.
Fucking drop that thing in the shark's mouth. He's insane.
Now, what's insane is what's about to happen. This is insane.
Yeah. He's going to drop that thing in that shark's mouth. What makes you think the shark is going to, well, they've seen it jump out of the water unbelievably several times. I mean, it tracks that it'd jump out of the water. There we go. Straight up.
Yeah. And it doesn't jump out of the water. It kind of like slowly pops out.
Look, it's being held up by its tail.
Hovers. Yeah. I was going to say, this is like Sharkaconda or something.
Sharkaconda. Sharktopus.
Sharktopus.
Oh, so he gets Jake in his mouth, bloody, down into the water. Bloop, 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 bloop. Slow-mo. This is actually pretty creepy and effective because Jake, all in slow-mo. There goes your best friend. bloop, 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 bloop. This shot underwater of Jake, the stuntman, in the shark's mouth is really fucking cool. I like it. So you would think Jake's dead, right? But no. So they test screened this original ending for audiences, and the audiences felt let down because supposedly Jake is dead. Ellen rams the shark with the boat here, wounds the shark, and the boat sinks. And that's kind of an uneventful ending. And the audience went, well, I don't like that Jake died. It was kind of the Dewey Scream effect. Like, don't kill Jake. We like Jake. So American audiences revolted. They were like, don't do it. So we get the ending of the shark getting stabbed with the bow of the boat and explodes inexplicably. If you pause it, you can see the horrible model, the claymation of the bow of the boat going into the shark, and it explodes, and then Jake pops up, much like a Hooper at the end, being alive. So that's the ending we actually get.
I mean, minus shark exploding, I do not mind Jake surviving. Much like Dewey from Scream, I'm glad he lives.
So what do you think about this here, where Ellen is turning the boat, she's going to ram the shark, and she's having these flashback visions in her head of Thea on the banana boat screaming, Sean being killed, and Martin having a showdown with the shark. Two things which she was not present for.
I always assumed that she just like visualized it in her head. Like maybe Martin told her the story multiple times. Like that was how he had to kind of coerce her into having sex. Be like, hey, I was out there fighting a shark for you. Drop him.
So Mike is zapping the shark with this electrical equipment of Jake's. And the shark is roaring.
The roaring is stupid.
Sharks don't have vocal cords.
That we know of.
Explodes. Multiple takes, multiple angles. Everybody falls off the boat. So listen here. Very faint. You can hear the sound from Duel. Oh, look at the backdrop. That's so bad. Yeah, the sound from Spielberg's Duel when the shark goes down. Oh, this is so bad. And there's Jake. Yay. I believe that actually, that he survives that, because that shark's teeth were nothing.
No, they bend every time he bites anything. I mean, that's probably why he's so pissed off, because he's got dentures.
They bend every time.
But they were pretty looking teeth. I'll give him that.
It's like he got dental. That's true. So the hell are you doing alive? Good question. Because Uncle Jake's equipment don't crap out. Okay, that has nothing to do with it, but okay. So they all have to hang on to pieces of the broken boat now. Hoagie and Ellen, Mike and Jake.
Who are
I guess they're gonna
couple.
They're gonna kick paddle their way in, and then here we are. Okay. Ellen's headed home to Amity. Hoagie's gonna fly her on his little puddle jumper over to the main airport, I guess. I mean, yeah, she has her real estate business she has to get back to in Amity, but I don't know. Hoagie in the Bahamas, I might stick around for a while. Now that the looming threat is gone.
That's true. I mean, I would stick around for a Hoagie in the Bahamas too, but I think we're talking about two different Hoagies.
Oh, the happy family. Bye-bye.
I'm assuming she's not pissed at her husband anymore.
And credits roll as we see Hoagie's plane getting ready for takeoff here.
I mean, okay, I got the captions on, so I'm like reading the lyrics
Uh-huh.
of the song as the plane is taking off. It says the smoke will come from the engine. Is that just me, or does that seem a little ominous?
What a terrible thing to say when you're in a plane. And we fade off into the sunset.
Okay, now is this a real sunset or is this painted? Because you seem to know all the back behind the scenes on that. So
That's real because you see the plane taking off.
okay, well I
I'm
don't
guessing.
know anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what's real anymore.
You've
I
officially
shook your
ripped.
world.
Yeah, you've ripped me out of the Matrix, and I can't tell anymore what's going on.
Oh my God. I like the music at the end. I mean, there's no reason. I don't think there's an end credit scene, so there's no reason to let
I
it
think
go.
this
But
is way before end credit scenes. Although I don't know, for years there, I mean, like maybe no one stuck around to watch, and there's like a end credit scene that like connects the universe, and this is like the beginning of the Jaws verse, like the Marvel universe.
the Jaws verse.
Brody comes back to life or something.
Yeah, I'm shocked at the death count in this, honestly. I wanted the shark to be more vicious.
I wonder, like, was the shark really out to kill anyone, or was like he actually trying to go and like make apologies for his family? Was this supposed to be the good shark, but just everyone kind of screwed up?
The good shark. Probably not the good shark, but again, I'm just trying to think about how many kills were in Jaws. There was like 5, and Jaws 2 there's more than 2, and then in 3, God, it's been a while since I've seen 3. I mean, he gets
wouldn't
part of
even
Leah
know.
Thompson's thigh, so that kind of counts as a little bit of white meat. He gets the guy who goes down a gravel driveway in a rolling donut or whatever.
And technically, isn't the thigh dark meat? I mean, if we're going off of chickens here, I mean, a thigh is dark meat.
I suppose it would be, yeah. But Leah Thompson, I mean, well, she had sort of a tan.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like her, yeah, she's white, but I mean,
White meat.
you know, we're gonna analyze this like cannibals here, okay? So it's like she's gonna be technically dark meat.
So, do you think this movie is better with a phone call cameo Matt Hooper and Dennis Quaid as Michael, or no? And like Catherine instead of Carla?
No. I mean, I would love to have seen Hooper come back, but I can't honestly say it would have added anything. It just would have been like, oh, okay, that was cute. That was nice. Another connection to the original.
Oh, the song was You Got It All by the Jets. My apologies for that 80s song that they danced to at the casino. I have to throw that in.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't Atlantic Star, it was the Jets. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. Well, we're sorry, Jets, if you're listening to this. She didn't know any better.
Well, it's because
She
it just
doesn't know
came up
music.
in the credits.
Yeah, but you didn't know music then, so
Characters and events depicted are fictional. Gosh, I would hope
hopefully.
so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. My God.
If this was based on a true story, we're screwed.
All right. The end. That's all she wrote for Jaws of the Revenge.
That's all I can handle for Jaws the Revenge.
Did you have any other notes or comments? Anything you just thought of that you want to throw in there before we wrap this up?
I don't have much.
So overall thoughts and feelings on this. You said this was the first one you ever saw.
Yes, growing up, this was the first Jaws movie I ever saw because I don't remember exactly. I want to say it's because every time I went to go rent Jaws, like people had taken it.
Right.
So Jaws: Revenge was always left behind, and I grew up loving this film. This was a great movie as a kid. It still to this day holds up. It's fun to watch just for the cheesiness,
Yeah.
but it's not. I don't remember as fondly as I did as a child.
So ranking them favorite to least favorite, what do you do? Is it Jaws obviously is first?
Yes. Well, I mean, Jaws is number one for multiple reasons. Number one reason being because if I don't like Jaws, the girlfriend will bitch slap me and break up with me. So I have to like Jaws. I go Jaws 2 as my second favorite. That one's really grown on me. I've come to appreciate that movie for what it is. Then it's got to go Jaws the Revenge. And then, I mean, I'll only throw in Jaws 3 at the end because we cannot technically count Cruel Jaws as a Jaws movie.
Yeah, that's a garbage movie.
Oh, it's a good. I mean, we're doing that one day. We are doing those movies because they are so amazing. One of them, I don't remember which one, has a dollar store version of Hulk Hogan in the movie.
You're kidding.
I am not kidding. One of the main actors in the movie looks like Hulk Hogan.
That's amazing.
It's either Cruel Jaws or there's another one that they did.
We're going to get this shark, brother. Okay. Well, that is going to wrap up our commentary on Jaws the Revenge for all you Patreon listeners. Thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you enjoyed that. There is plenty more to come. Don't you worry about that.
I do want to say one thing, though, to all the subscribers that, again, thank you. And if you are listening to this and you don't subscribe, you son of a bitch, what are you doing pirating our stuff? You get your ass back on Patreon and you subscribe.
Preach. All right. On that note, we will see you all next time. Goodbye.
Sweet Jesus, we're heading straight for it. Come about, Ellen. Ellen, come about. He's gonna hit us. Hold on.
Smile, you son of a bitch.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here, saying we know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so we want to thank you so much for listening to ours. Please make sure to find us on our socials and join us, be part of our bad movie conversations. We want to chat with you. We're on Facebook with an official page, as well as a Let's Talk Turkeys discussion group, where you can talk with other like-minded individuals who like bad movies. We're on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Our Twitter handle is at Gobble Podcast. That's GOBBLEPODCAST. And of course, you can always email us direct. We would love to get suggestions from you of movies you would like us to cover. If you want to be a guest on the show, we would love that. So directly, that's Let's Talk Turkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.
Good God.